Good morning. I would like to welcome you to our program, Conversations. And today we have the most esteemed, eclectic artist, native of Detroit, just a words fail me. Ladies and gentlemen, JRainey.
Thank you for having me.
You have always been someone to admire. Um, I met you years ago. And, you know, there's some things I've always wanted to ask you. Now I have the opportunity to do that.
Okay.
As I stated before, you're known for so many different things. An artist, of course, a businesswoman, an educator, but far and most, you're an artist. How do you define an artist?
I define an artist as someone that has the courage to create and not care about how people feel about it, about what people say about it, but that you understand that your creation is needed in the world.
Hmm. And it's all about creation and the process.
Yes.
Always about the process. So, how would you define yourself through subject matter? Because the first thing about creating art is about subject matter. So, how would you define yourself through your subject matter?
I would define myself as very vibrant, abstract, and I would define myself as an assemblage. Like I'm not one thing all the time. I'm different. You know, life has different emotions and different things happen in your life, events in your life that um, trigger how I create and what I create.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, now if you had only three colors to choose from, what would the three colors be to define you?
Red, yellow, and blue. Because you can create all the colors from those three colors, the primary colors. So I would define myself as red, yellow, and blue. Because those colors are simple, but they are very complex.
Yes, they are. That is JRainey. Yes. So, what message do you have for young, inspiring artists of today?
Well, just to keep creating, just to keep learning. Don't get caught up with the artist block because that's the time for you to gather information. To, if you feel like you can't paint something or you're stuck, that's the time for you to look at more art, to listen to music, to read about art, to go see art, to write about it. Um, that's what I would be. Just keep creating. Don't worry about what people think.
Thank you. And I'm sure a lot of young artists thank you for that message also. Now, let's move into art and business. I was at a workshop that you spoke at in regarding to the business of art.
Yes.
That workshop and your words were very motivating, just as you were talking about inspiring young artists. But what I found really interesting and cool is about the business of all creative people and how to market themselves in the business world. Can you comment on the business of art?
Well, the business of art is like any other business, but the reason why we have to have these classes is that we have to think of our artwork as business. Business. Any exchange of merchandise and money is business. And so the main thing is that you create, but you also have to market yourself, which is, the internet is right at your hands. The whole world is right at your hands. You can't be scared to market yourself like you might think somebody's going to steal your idea, but you have to remember that there's nothing new up under the sun. Like, you're thinking about something on this side of the earth, somebody on the other side of the earth is thinking about the same thing, but it's just the way that you project your idea. You have to remember that you have to pay taxes and things like that so that you can be a business person. So you should take classes on the business of art.
Very true.
Because you can make a living from that.
Very true. So making a living and talking about the business of art, what are the internal and external conflicts in regarding the business of art?
Well, some of the conflicts are people telling you not to. Creative people telling you that you're a sellout if you look at your artwork as business. You look at yourself, look at an artist as if an artist looks at themselves as a business person. Some people call you a sellout, and they think that you should not do that. But that concept of starving artists, that's been done and done over again. And we have to be smarter. Like, the generations have to get smarter about their creations. Because business people, businesses, they always want your artwork. But they want it because they know, they say, let's put it up on the wall. We're giving you exposure. But what you don't need exposure. What you need is money to create more artwork. And see, they need your artwork to make the people that come into their building feel good. Make them feel like, oh, this place is different because they got artwork. It's creative in here. So they use you to bring in more business for their business. But in return, you don't get anything but exposure. So, I mean, we have to be smarter than that, So.
Thank you. So who influenced you as a businesswoman? You have all this wisdom and knowledge and philosophy, but who inspired you?
Well, when I attended Creative Studies, College of Creative Studies, I had a mentor. Her name was Gilda Snowden, and she was the mirror for being a professional artist, a working artist, an educator, and a businesswoman. She ran her art business. See, her artwork it's kind of like when you're like a Louis Vuitton. Everything that he makes is priced. So he gets paid for his creation. But his stuff is mass produced. So if yours is original, don't you think you should get paid? Because nobody's going to make that again. His is mass produced and he gets paid. So you have to think of yourself like that. Do you think that your artwork is just as important as one of these $2,500 purses? And so I was taught like that. And I also took the art of business in College of Creative Studies and Wayne State.
Wow. Very cool. Now, your last project that I want to talk about, because you have so many projects. You're like a bowl of gumbo that just have everything boiling and simmering. Your current
you saying that I make people fat?
Fat with wisdom, fat with knowledge, fat with inspiration.
And sleepy. Because that gumbo makes you sleepy.
But the current project that you're doing now, it makes me want to turn back the hands of time and be 16 years old and you be my instructor. When you discussed in your TED Talk, Finding Mona Lisa, my words just leave me because, there are times I love to write. And writing are just words, but it's about putting images within those words so it can be seen and felt. And your talk, TED Talk, in regarding to Finding Mona Lisa was just, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that quietness because I couldn't find the words. All I saw was images. But once again, it made me want to be 16 years old again. When you said you were working with your students as an educator, an art educator, and you went to them and said, "You want to go on a field trip?" And everyone said, "Yeah." "Okay, let's go to Paris and find Mona Lisa." I was just like, oh my God, I wish I was in her class. What is it about that concept, that wanting to take students to be global citizens?
Well, I remember this was before President Obama got in office, but everybody was talking about globalizing our students, but it seems as though they were sitting them in front of the computer and and that was their globalization for them, just letting them go on websites or whatever. But this all started one day I woke up and I taught art history and the visual arts and studio arts for about 7 years. And then I was wondering if my students would ever, visit this culture, and would they ever visit the culture that created the artists that created all those masterpieces that they studied about. And so one day I asked them, did they want to go on a field trip? And I said we was going to find Mona Lisa, and the next year we went to find Mona Lisa. And that was the start of Finding Mona Lisa, Urban Students Become Global Scholars. Different students every year. We've been to Paris, Barcelona, Japan, Egypt, Germany, Costa Rica. I think that's it. And next year we'll be in China. So each year became a whole different thing. It was about the arts, but through the arts, the students became globalized. They understood how to go into a culture and respect that culture, and to find similarities but respect the differences. So that's what being a global citizen is to me.
Woohoo! Now you understand, ladies and gentlemen, why I want to be 16? Only for this moment. Just to be her student. That's it. My last question for you. What is your legacy that you want to leave behind? Not that you're going anywhere, but what is your legacy? What is your most precious thing that you have achieved and you want to continue to achieve?
I want to leave behind tolerant citizens. Citizens that are tolerant of differences. Starting with my students and with my family, that they don't think that differences are bad. It's just different. When people can live the way they want to live, and you have to respect that, and they have to respect you the way you want to live. And it's not harming anybody. I mean, with good sense, we're talking about tolerance. So that's what I want. I want to live behind students that are tolerant citizens, that are people for humanity, and then that they spread that on to their families and their, students or whatever they go into, that they take that with them into their adulthood.
Jocelyn Rainey, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Miss Davis.
You are an inspiration to artists, to business individuals, and most important to educators. Thank you. And we would like to thank you for joining us today on our program, The Conversations. Remember, have a conversation with someone. You may be surprised what you discover. This is Lourie Davis. Peace.